I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. From door-to-door ministry to avoiding the holidays, it was my whole world until it wasn't. Around age 14, everything had changed. In this video, I want to share with you why my family walked away from the Jehovah's Witnesses, what that meant for me, and how I eventually found faith again. This isn't about bashing anyone's belief, it is just my personal journey. So my family and I became Jehovah's Witnesses when I was about 3 years old. So my parents were not in that faith when I was born. I believe my parents found that faith and religion through the door-to-door ministry. So someone came to our doors and we became involved in the Jehovah's Witnesses that way. Growing up, we had so much time spent at the Kingdom Hall and in the congregation. So the Kingdom Hall is what they call their church. Their type of church is the Kingdom Hall. So we would go to the Kingdom Hall every Sunday for a service, typically about 2 hours there. Then every Tuesday night we would spend at the Kingdom Hall. That was usually about an hour and a half, I believe. Then Thursday nights we would gather in someone's house for another service. And then we would do door-to-door ministry where we'd go knocking on certain routes or like neighborhoods to promote the faith and Jehovah's Witnesses. So we would do that for sure every Saturday morning and then typically Wednesday evening. So it was a huge part of our everyday life and week. Lots of time spent at the Kingdom Hall and with the congregation. There's so many differences growing up and being a Jehovah's Witness. When you're a Jehovah's Witness, you can't socialize with anyone who's not in the congregation or who's not part of that religion. So they would refer to other people as being worldly. So worldly people you could not associate with. You could talk to them in like door-to-door ministry or like try to get them to become Jehovah's Witnesses, and that was allowed. But beyond that, you couldn't be friends or socialize with anyone. So our family who was not Jehovah's Witnesses, we didn't have any relationship with until we weren't Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. You know, going to school, I didn't have any friends that were at school. All of my friends were Jehovah's Witnesses through the congregation, and we would socialize with those people. One big difference that a lot of people know of is Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate any of the traditional holidays. So we didn't do any like Christmases, birthdays, Easters. We didn't do any birthdays. I hadn't ever celebrated birthday until I was like a teenager. When they did school holiday events, I would have to like not partake, sit out, or like not have the birthday treat, not celebrate with others, which was just kind of normal for me at that time. Jehovah's Witnesses did celebrate one holiday each year called the Passover. I believe it's in spring, don't quote me on that. But we would just gather, it was just an extra like get together at the Kingdom Hall. It wasn't really any like holiday of like what we celebrate now as a holiday. Another big difference growing up as a Jehovah's Witness is they don't allow any like competitions. So you can't play sports, you can't be in the military, you can't compete with others. I was in gymnastics when I was young and I really liked it, but I had to stop going because we were at like the competition level and you cannot compete again as a Jehovah's Witness. So I could not be involved in gymnastics anymore. And then also that's like worldly people that you're associating with. So that wasn't allowed. So I didn't play any sports growing up. So that's why I say in a lot of my videos, like I didn't find fitness and health and nutrition until I was older because I wasn't able to be involved in any of those things growing up. And then another big difference from Jehovah's Witnesses was the dating life. Now, we got out of the Jehovah's Witness religion before I became of age to be able to date. So as a Jehovah's Witness, you cannot date until you're at least 18, and dating is much different. So all of your dates will obviously have to be with someone who's in the congregation, who's a Jehovah's Witness themselves. You cannot date someone out of their religion. And then all of your dates are chaperoned. So you are never alone with that individual that you're going on a date with. You're not allowed to like have any physical touch, kiss until you're married. So you always have a chaperone, someone with you for every date until you're married. Then you're allowed to be alone. But I never had part of that, right? And then I think, you know, when it comes to Jehovah's Witness, they're just very strict, like so strict. They have so many rules and things to follow. They have kind of like this overseeing body in each congregation, kind of the elders that help like enforce these rules and keep everyone on track. So it's like, I don't know, it's just really different in that regard. And yeah, just having to abide by all the rules. Like you couldn't have alcohol. Obviously I wasn't of age then anyways, but no alcohol, no gambling, like no playing like lottery tickets or anything, no swearing. It was much different. I think growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, I didn't notice any difference overly. I had a great group of friends that were Jehovah's Witnesses. We spent a lot of time together, had people that I looked up to. This is what me and my family did. We attended this congregation in this Kingdom Hall on a regular basis together, so I felt comfort in it. I believed it. I was totally into it. I really liked going door to door and, talking to people about the faith and religion. So that was my upbringing, and I thought nothing different. But then when I was about 14, and without going into too much specifics, I don't really feel comfortable oversharing, one of my parents was disfellowshipped. So what being disfellowshipped means is that you are kicked out of the congregation. So again, they have these rules that you have to follow, and if you do something wrong, it goes to the elders, and then the elders get to decide if you are able to stay in the congregation or you get disfellowship, meaning that you are kind of kicked out. No one can talk to you anymore. No one can associate with you anymore. So one of my parents got disfellowshipped and was no longer able to attend services. Actually, you could try to get back into the religion if you wanted to. So if they wanted to keep going, you can still attend and try to prove yourself that you want to be a Jehovah's Witness, and then maybe months later be accepted back. But during that time, you're completely shamed and ignored the entire time. So my parents did not have to come back. My parents stayed out. I still attended some services with the other parent, and we still tried, but it was awkward. Everyone knew, and we were kind of ignored too, even though we weren't disfellowshipped. It just felt much different. We weren't part of the congregation anymore and disfellowship, but we were not kicked out, but it felt that way. So then we just stopped going. We stopped going as a full family, stopped going completely. We were not Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. I think this was really tough for me and my brothers, and probably my parents going through this. It was all we knew and what we were brought up on, and then it's not there anymore. You don't have those people that you had grown up with, your friends that you had seen on nearly a daily basis and interacted with, and then now they're all gone. This was really difficult for me, especially being in the same school. So I went to the same school district from kindergarten through grade 12. So I knew everyone for all of those years, couldn't socialize, talk to, be friends with anyone. And now all of a sudden at age 13, 14, 15, I need to break into these people's friends groups and try to have them accept me and get along and socialize. It was awful, I will tell you, and I said it before, but my teenage years and my high school years were some of the worst memories of my life. It was so socially awkward. I never want to relive that moment or those times again. But I think growing up as a Jehovah's Witness had created that awkward transition and trying to now fit into that high school when I hadn't talked to them for many years in the past. It was just a really, really tough part of my life. So not even just changing religions, but now all of a sudden as a teenager going through all of this change. I also feel this transition probably led to a little bit more rebellion in my teenage years because Jehovah's Witnesses were so strict. I was Little Miss Perfect growing up. I did nothing wrong, and just had this expectation of perfection. Now that I wasn't in that religion, I think in trying to fit into friend groups, I didn't really know who I was as a person anymore. I think that led to a lot of mistakes and stupid things that I did over those upcoming 10 years. And then eventually found my way back, but that was some awkward transition years. I'll say now that I have been what I call to be a non-denominational Christian for many years. So towards the end of my high school experience, I did find one friend, and she brought me into her church, her Christian ministry, and I started attending church and youth groups with her and fell in love with that. So I called Jesus my savior, still have Jesus and God and similar beliefs as Jehovah's Witnesses, but much different in certain aspects too. Yeah, I still attend that same church now. I try to turn to God for my fears and worries, and I try to pray on a regular basis. And I'm so thankful that I found God through this friend and in a faith that seems very authentic and real to me instead of the Jehovah's Witness faith. I also like the non-denominational Christian option and what I practice now, because I think I would definitely, me personally, I would steer away from something that is so strict. I don't want a lot of rules and people tell me what to do and things to follow and whatnot. I don't think that's what faith is about and what Christianity is about. I just, want to talk to God from my heart. So I personally don't like being called or belonging to any certain religion type other than just a general Christian. So I do feel very comfortable raising Sally as a non-denominational Christian. I think this allows for some guidance and again, God and Jesus and a faith upbringing, but something without so many rules and structure. It still allows him to be a kid and enjoy that upbringing and have opportunities as a child when he's at these younger years. We do enjoy going to church together. My husband's actually come to the same church now too. And, I do think it's something nice that we can do together as a family and talk about together and pray together. I think that's really helpful for us just as a family unit also to walk in our faith together. I think I said it in a lot of my other videos, if you watch any of my holiday videos, I do love doing the holidays with Sully because I didn't get to enjoy doing those things as a kid. I'm not sure if I ever went trick-or-treating as a kid. I don't think I did, but to do that with him and celebrate that with him, I probably go above and beyond for his birthdays and holidays and have that extra moments in time because I didn't get to do any of that as a kid. So it's extra special to me, and we only have one child. So it's our time's limited with him growing up. We don't have opportunity to celebrate more than one kid's birthday a year or things. So I take joy in watching him celebrate those holidays, birthdays, and special moments that I was not able to. I know my first Christmas together with family when we were not Jehovah's Witnesses anymore was so awkward. It was so weird. I remember after going for my first Christmas tree, my grandma took us to this Christmas tree lot. I think I was 15, 16. It felt so weird. And my birthday, it was all so weird the first few years, but things have gotten better over time. I feel much more comfortable saying happy birthday to someone or saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We never did any or say anything like that as a Jehovah's Witness. The one thing that my husband, Scott, it still drives him crazy to this day is as a Jehovah's Witness, you couldn't say bless you when someone sneezed. So he'll still sneeze to this day, and I don't bless him afterwards because we were always taught not to do that. So it's weird to him. So that's one thing that still carries over from being a Jehovah's Witness over the years. Again, this is just my story, but I think it's also important to say that we need to be kind and respectful to all of those, no matter what faith or upbringing or religion that they follow. When we were in Thailand, I think Buddhism is such an interesting culture and belief. So we went into temples and still respectful, and it was amazing. Even though I don't have those similar beliefs, I still can be respectful and kind to those who believe that. So just knowing that this is my story, and I want to know that if others have gone through something similar or currently going through something like this, you're definitely not alone. So that's going to be all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.